My name is Acacia Markel, and welcome back to my channel, Another Day, Another Rebirth. This is Venus's Interlude, where we talk all things self-love, self-care, and worth, you know? Today, I just want to talk about being a righteous see you next Tuesday. If you don't know what I mean, slow it down a little bit. See you next Tuesday. That's my new display name on Twitter, because I figured in order to be a true vessel for the divine in its purest context, in its purest form, at some point in your life, you have to be a see you next Tuesday. Venus is the planet of love, they say, right? And you know how some people say, well, I'm a lover and not a fighter. I don't believe that anybody who's a true lover cannot be a fighter. If you're a true lover, you probably hate just as hard as you love. And you seek to destroy whatever seeks to destroy your self-love and your self-worth, or the things and people that you love. That's just me, though. See, my good Judy Jasmine once told me, she's like a astrology guru, yeah. She taught me that Venus in its true form, and not like just what Western astrology teaches, is a destroyer. So it makes me think of certain deities, certain essences and entities that look very pretty, but they carry a machete behind their back. So in this episode of Venus's Interlude, I want to talk about being that see you next Tuesday in order to protect yourself and protect your self-worth. A lot of what we're taught is feminine is girlish. It's like an adolescent girl. It's like clueless to wander around the world but be prim and proper and dainty about it. They want women to depend on other folk in this today's society. Our rights are being taken. The most feminine, the most loving thing you can do in today's age is fight. And you know what really grinds my gears? Those feminine women that run around here and judge other women, say, hey, I'm too classy to fight. I'm too classy to carry myself in this way. But to me, to be a woman who loves herself, you are willing to pick up the machete and that iron fist when it's time. I think in order for you to connect with that version of Venus, that side, that dark side. And when I mean dark doesn't necessarily mean evil. We need to decolonize and reel that back, right? Dark just means what you must go through to get to the light. And if you're constantly claiming you're a lover and not willing to go to the darkness and fight for yourself and your loved ones and the other women in your lineage, even if they came before you, even when they're telling you to stand up for yourself, even when they're telling you to put those people in jars and hex them, but you are so busy turning the other cheek trying to be cute and dainty. Is that womanhood? Are you really called for this work? If you think the only thing about loving yourself is going to the spa, picking up a lip gloss, your favorite fragrance, but turning your head and your cheek to the BS that's happening to the other women around you or to you. People seek to destroy the divine feminine and her worth and the way she loves herself every single day. It's even in the little things. It's even in the jokes. You're not going to be who you're called to be until you're willing to be seen like a villain. The same way that white supremacy convinces us that African spirituality is not righteous, is demonic. That's how they feel about women having rights and having their own voice. I'm going through something right now at work where I'm ostracized. I'm seen as less feminine. I'm seen as a bit feisty. I've been called hostile. People talk about how black women don't listen all the time at work, and that's why we're going to talk about later after the situation's over. But I've had to reconnect with certain entities like Callie, like, oh yeah, because they're teaching me femininity is not standing around waiting for a man to protect you or for some outside entity to come in and save you. You are your savior. You tell them to move out of the way. You do not move to the side for them. You tell them where to go and how to be with you. You form boundaries, even if you do seem chaotic and mean and unstable. The wild woman is always the most passionate, the most feminine, the one who gets her way, believe it or not. The wild woman who stands up for herself, people actually want to do more for her. You may say, you see all these like really feminine, prissy, dainty women getting their way, and you're like, why can't I just be like that? Why did I have to be the rowdy, aggressive one? It's a form of protection. And people that actually want to see you do good and not control you will do for you. A lot of the times, those other people that are passive and not as loud and flamboyant and bold as you, they don't get what they want because people want to see them do good. They get what they want because people can control them. Venus is not about control. Venus is about empowerment. Venus is about the raw essence of love. And love is not for the weak. Any form of love is not for the weak. You must have some type of courage if you love yourself. What I've witnessed at this job that I'm at is that meanness, timidness, people-pleasing all comes from the lack of courage to love yourself out loud. No one who loves themselves is going to sit around and let people make small remarks about them. No one who loves themselves is going to let someone tell them who they are. No one who loves themselves is going to neglect their self-care routine. No one who loves themselves is going to keep saying, oh, why me? Why doesn't this happen for me? It's a form of protection why those things that you think are so shiny and so sweet are not happening for you. You're untamable. You're wild. You're intelligent. You're fierce. And that is the dark side of Venus. And when I say the dark side of Venus, I'm not talking about the underdeveloped. You know, how the cheating, the lying, the manipulation, the gluttony, the laziness. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the darkness. You know, people are afraid of the dark. They're unwilling to walk through the darkness. If you saw a tunnel right now that was pitch black dark, but God, Spirit, Mother Nature, your ancestors guaranteed you if you walk through it, if you couldn't see nothing, that the other side will be wealth, love, prosperity, community. A lot of people will turn back around. I'm talking about the wanting of love and softness so much that you're willing to pick up your blade, the one that's been in your pocket your whole life, the one that would have cut that relationship off off rip as soon as you got into it. That ancestral blade, that ancestral rage, if you're willing to pick it up and willing to look like a villain, if you're willing to look like a angry black, that one, that darkness, that darkness where you're so sure of yourself, you do not give a care in this world what anybody says about you, because you're defending yourself and your right to exist, and your right to exist in a soft, protective world. I'm talking about that darkness. If you have not become familiar with the dark mothers, you should. You should. If you're not familiar with the women in your lineage that nobody liked, but they probably had their one or two. They probably had the love of their life. They probably had their nuclear. Ooh, what was that? Their nuclear family. They probably had their two good Judys. But they stood on business so much that they weren't trying to hear that. Are you willing to go through that? Are you willing to be ostracized for loving yourself so deeply that the minute and moment you see some BS, you walk away from it? You acknowledge it. A lot of us are not willing to go through that, and we rather just go with the flow and pretend that femininity is tucking your hair behind your head and swaying a certain way. That's a part of it, but that's not all of it. We've been through a lot, so it takes a lot to get to that softness. Are you willing? Are you ready? I believe you are, because you found my video. So until next time, my love.